Over the past 14 years, my wife, 36 years old, and I, 39 years old, have shared a life journey that started in Florida. However, we made a significant decision to move to New York in our early 20s. I was drawn to the bustling city life, and eventually we both found jobs and settled down in New York. As time went on, our lives took a challenging turn. My wife experienced a work-related accident that caused severe back pain, leading her to go on long-term disability. This not only affected her physically, but also took a toll on her mental health. She struggled with leaving the house and being in public, which resulted in a loss of mobility due to her back injury. The consequences of the accident became more pronounced. She gained a significant amount of weight, making it challenging for her to be active around the house. Simple tasks like cooking, cleaning, and everyday chores became difficult for her. At one point, her situation became so challenging that she required assistance from me for basic tasks like bathing. The impact extended to our intimate life as well. Due to the physical and emotional challenges she faced, our sexual intimacy suffered, leading to long stretches without any intimate connection. These difficulties brought about a new set of challenges for both of us, requiring understanding, support, and adjustments as we navigated through this chapter of our lives together. The situation became even more challenging for me because at that point, I was the sole breadwinner with the only job. This meant that I not only had to fulfill work responsibilities, but also became solely responsible for managing the household chores and taking care of both my wife and our pets. Living in New York City, where our life together had unfolded, presented its own set of challenges. As time passed, my wife expressed that she couldn't cope with the fast-paced city environment. She believed it was contributing to her struggles, and she felt the need to leave. She wanted to move to a more relaxed place, preferably closer to family. This decision was tough for me. I loved being a part of the vibrant city life, and not having my partner to explore it with was already a significant loss. Now, the prospect of leaving the city I had always dreamt of living in was an added difficulty. Despite my personal connection and thriving life in New York City, my love for my wife and the desire to support her well-being took precedence. After some time of reflection and consideration, I made the decision to prioritize her needs. We agreed to leave New York City, and we relocated to Florida, a place that offered a more low-key environment and was closer to her family. This transition marked a significant shift in our lives as we adjusted to a new setting and faced the challenges that came with leaving behind the city that had been a part of my dreams for so long. Despite our hopes, moving to Florida didn't immediately resolve all the challenges we were facing. In fact, my wife's mental health took a hit in the beginning, which was disheartening for both of us. However, we managed to save up and fulfill a dream by purchasing a home, a place we envisioned as our dream house. Around the time we settled into our new home, my wife began to make slow but steady improvements in her mental and physical health. It was a positive turn, and we both felt hopeful about the future. However, during this time, my wife approached me with a suggestion. She proposed that I consider dating other women as a way to get out of the house and have fun, given her limitations in providing those experiences for me. This idea saddened me as I valued our relationship deeply. I expressed to her that I didn't want to explore dating others. Instead, my primary wish was for her to continue getting better so that we could enjoy those experiences together once more. This conversation highlighted the complexities of our situation and the sacrifices we were both grappling with. While my wife was trying to find a solution to my social needs, my commitment and desire were focused on supporting her recovery and building a future where we could share joy and experiences together. As time passed, about a month later, I began to feel uneasy about the situation. The reason being, my wife had stopped bringing up the idea of opening up our relationship. At first, I thought maybe she had changed her mind or that things were improving for the better. Her health was gradually getting better, although she still rarely left the house except for walking our dogs, buying groceries, and attending physical therapy. She had started to take on some chores, which I saw as a positive sign. even though I would occasionally come home to find dirty dishes. To me, any effort on her part to contribute around the house was an improvement. However, one day, something caught my attention. When I returned home, I noticed 2 wine glasses that hadn't been washed yet. This on its own wasn't particularly unusual, but one of the glasses had lipstick on the rim. This struck me as odd because my wife doesn't usually drink wine unless we have special guests over. The color of the lipstick matched the type she wears when she's going out, and I distinctly remembered that she was supposed to be home all day that day. This discovery left me feeling suspicious and confused, as it seemed to contradict the routine and circumstances I had come to expect. It raised questions about what might be happening when I wasn't around, adding a new layer of uncertainty to our already complicated situation. As I noticed these peculiarities, I didn't dwell on them initially. However, a sense of unease lingered, prompting me to casually ask my wife about her day during a light conversation before bedtime. I inquired about where she had gone that day, not mentioning anything about the lipstick. She responded, saying she hadn't gone anywhere. Curiosity led me to a follow-up question about the wine she had drunk. This question seemed to catch her off guard. She hesitated, appearing somewhat surprised, and then asked, "What wine?" This response left me with a growing feeling that she might be hiding something from me. Adding to the suspicion was the fact that her phone seemed to be buzzing more frequently than usual. While I typically assumed these notifications were from family members, the circumstances were starting to make me wonder if there was more to it. Given the signs and my growing concerns that she might be seeing someone, possibly without my knowledge or permission, I wrestled with the decision to check her phone. However, she was always glued to it, making it a challenge. After some contemplation, I decided to order and install a hidden camera in our living space. This took about a week to arrive and set up. My actions reflected the increasing uncertainty and suspicions I harbored, and I hoped that the camera might provide clarity on the situation that seemed to be unfolding in our lives. The situation took a heartbreaking turn when, on the 2nd day after installing the hidden camera, I discovered that my wife had been inviting a man into our house and engaging in intimate activities with him. Confronting her with the video evidence, she pleaded with me not to leave. She explained that she had met the man while walking our dogs and that it was just a physical relationship, nothing more. Feeling devastated by the betrayal, I faced a difficult decision. Despite the sacrifices I had made and the emotional toll, I didn't want to give up on the relationship completely, as I still loved her. In a complicated turn of events, since she had already proposed an open relationship and had given permission for me to be with other people, I decided to sign up on a dating app. Surprisingly, I quickly connected with people who wanted to spend time with me. The first person I went on a date with developed a close connection with me rapidly, and we experienced what's known as new relationship energy, a term describing the excitement and intensity of a fresh romantic connection. This development added another layer of complexity to the evolving dynamics in my life. The newfound connection with someone who shared a similar level of energy and love for socializing as me was intriguing. My wife, on the other hand, experienced a different outcome, as the guy she had been seeing suddenly stopped communicating with her after a few months. Despite my initial reluctance to consider divorce, my perspective on our relationship had shifted. The person I had cared for and supported through the challenges of disability and dwindling confidence no longer seemed like the same angel I had known. I had been her rock and protector, but the dynamics were changing. As I began coming home later and engaging in frequent text conversations with the new person in my life, my wife noticed and felt uneasy about the situation. This was a stark contrast to the discomfort I felt when I discovered her own affair. She expressed her concerns about the closeness and speed at which my new relationship was developing. In an attempt to address these concerns, she suggested establishing boundaries to prevent it from negatively impacting our relationship. This proposal caught me off guard. After all the sacrifices and years spent caring for her, I found it difficult to accept that she was now asking for boundaries in a relationship she once pushed to open. It seemed selfish to me that she was willing to end it just when she saw that I was genuinely happy. The complexity of emotions and the evolving dynamics added another layer of challenge to the already intricate situation we were navigating. As I confronted my wife about her sudden change in attitude towards my new relationship, she began to cry and used her disability as an excuse, claiming I was supposed to be there for her. It felt like a manipulation tactic, especially considering her earlier use of her therapist to maneuver our relationship into an open one, even when I initially refused. Despite her protests and emotional appeals for me to end things with the new person, I continued seeing her. We developed a strong bond, and during our time together, she shared her dream of moving to New York City. It was at that moment that I started envisioning a future with this woman. I disclosed to her that I was married, and we had an open relationship arrangement before we began dating. However, our connection grew deeper, and she began questioning my love for my wife. This made me start questioning it too. The realization hit me when I started dating another person. It became evident that I wasn't feeling appreciated in my marriage. This revelation marked a turning point in my perspective. The complexities of my relationships, the emotional roller coaster, and the evolving dynamics had led me to reevaluate my connection with my wife. The newfound appreciation and understanding from someone else made me question whether my current relationship was truly fulfilling and whether I was receiving the love and appreciation that I deserved. 5 months after discovering my wife inviting a random guy into our home through the hidden camera, I made the difficult decision to file for divorce. This decision blindsided my wife, and she pleaded with me, expressing her willingness to allow me to continue seeing the other person if that's what it would take to save our marriage. However, I dropped another bombshell on her. I informed her that I was moving to New York City with this new person. Originally, I had planned to stay together until we could sell our house. However, I found myself needing to move out sooner than expected. My wife was resorting to manipulative tactics to keep me in the marriage, and I felt it was healthier for both of us to create some distance. The decision to move out and file for divorce marked a significant step toward a new chapter in my life, one that would be shaped by the lessons learned from the complexities of my past relationships. In the aftermath of my decision to file for divorce, my wife tried various tactics to influence me. Initially, she suggested I visit her therapist to talk things through, but I declined. Then she involved both our families, painting a picture of me abandoning her. Knowing I wouldn't disclose the complexities of our open marriage to our relatives, she used their influence to try and change my mind. Her nightly crying sessions, even when I wasn't in the same room, took a toll on me emotionally, prompting me to make the difficult choice to move out of our house. The divorce process itself took about 3 months to be finalized. During this time, I also ended the relationship with the woman I had bonded with. The newfound freedom allowed me to enjoy being on my own, without the responsibilities and emotional weight of caring for someone else. As a naturally social person, this freedom meant I could explore new connections and date without feeling tied down. Although I still had plans to move to New York City, a previous employer advised me to wait for a suitable position to open up, given my absence for 5 years. If there were no opportunities in the coming months, I planned to start applying to other places. This decision marked a period of self-discovery, healing, and preparing for a new chapter, where I could embrace the possibilities of a more independent and fulfilling life.